Wassail, wassail, one person wassail. Wassail Lorry, wassail Petra, wassail Diabar, Dark Fire Dragon 213. I sang that wrong. Hello, beautiful people. Wassail Shiloh. So we're here because actually I'll just pop it in again at the top. There's a link to the webpage. We're going to look at the forthcoming eclipse. Wassail Amy Gill. I need a drink of water already. I just had one before I pressed play. Music concert. we're just going to sing, whistle, hum. Can't whistle anymore. Waiting for my teeth to come back. Bonjour, Neringa. So yes, eclipse. I'm just going to give people a little time because otherwise I'll start talking and just keep singing names. So maybe I need to put a little timestamp in here, which is when I stop singing. Yeah, I feel like that. Here, you can't do anything but drink water. I have my own 19-litre water cooler as such. It's not a cooler though. And I'm wazzing through the water. I just keep drinking it. Wassail Eve. She's at work, but she's listening in. I'm sorry, Eve. It's just, and don't worry, don't feel obliged to watch out for the naughty ones. You work, hear what you want to. I'll moderate myself. You never know, Rob might turn up or Reem. You just don't know. So we're going to look at this article I've written. It's taken me 3 days to write it. And actually today, I had to turn the brightness up. Oh, it's up as much as it goes. There's the cicadas. There's a lot of very strange kind of energy coming up, and I thought that it was important to go into it and see what comes of things. And the article's taken me about 3 days to do, and I tried to upload one final photograph into it, and it won't let me. Wassail Holly, wassail Catherine. I don't know why I put an in there when it's Catherine. Wassail Christina, wassail Charity Ferguson. So yeah, there's one picture. I've tried to put in an image to show how on the 31st of March or the 1st of April in GMT, there was a really, the new moon, there was a really interesting kind of configuration in the heavens. There were no aspects. Pluto was alone and Uranus was alone, and they were sort of like the top and the bottom of the energies. And then in between, everything was in conjunction with something else. I think Mars and Venus were conjuncting around Saturn. Jupiter and Neptune were conjuncting, and Mercury, the Sun, Moon, and something else that's got out of my head. They were also in a quadruple conjunction. And it's very rare. My hostess's cousin's daughter's husband and wife team baby at that exact moment, there were no aspects other than conjunctions. So it'll be interesting to observe that baby as it grows up. So I need to hang around for a while. What do I think about druids? I think that it's like many things. It's no different to the runes. We don't have the full information about how these people live their lives. And so we have to live it in our own versions. We have to understand things in our own versions. So Wassail Irish Koshla. So we're going to look at this article. I'm just going to put it in again for those that have arrived. Oh, hang on. It won't let me do it. There we go. I'm not sure when you tap on that, whether it's going to take you to my YouTube account in orange or whether it's going to take you to my website. It should take you to my website. So there, as I said, there's an article there about the Janus Geminus, which I'm calling the Janus Nauticus, because it's all about 0 degrees. So we're going to be looking at that. I'm going to keep drinking water. That's why I'm indoors at the moment, because I have to keep the water cool because of my healing. I have to keep my gum cold from icy water. I'm unbelievably thirsty. All the time. So how are we going to do this? I thought that we might begin by looking at the solar eclipse and what its opening energy is. So this solar eclipse is part of the Saros series, because they come in a series that began its life on the 15th of May, 850. That's a long time ago. So it's seen and influenced a lot of life. And it's actually the 66th incarnation of itself out of 71. So it's almost over. So really, this is about birthing new energy somehow. It's about seeing what go of, I guess. And so we're going to have a look at that. It's in 90 years, it's gone. So whatever it is that we've been feeling, it's kind of over, and we need to accept that it's over. It's also a black moon, and a black moon is a bit like a Wassail Jennifer Collins. A black moon is when you have 2 new moons in the same calendar month. So we had the new moon on the 1st of April in Aries, as I said. And now we're going to get one in Taurus, but it's all in April. So it means it's, as I said, a black moon. So let's just get a card from the runes, and I'll look for the new rune poem that we're working on, Robin Ream and I, in building this lovely rune deck. Actually, you'll notice in the article, the blog that I've written, I've used all the Alchemy of Astrology images to help you to understand different aspects taking place that are worth focusing on, that are about resetting energy. And I'm working on updating the artwork still on that deck. So that one's a long way off, but I might get a version printed. I love the noise of them. So you've been studying about the Druids. They are a fascinating area. I have a friend called the Celtic Druid who lives in the UK, and she's been studying Druidism for quite a while. What do we have? Oh, interesting. 13. Yo! So this is the U. This is the sacral. This is, I guess, this is the energy of the solar eclipse. It's kind of the energy that the sun brings to the entire 2-week period leading to the lunar eclipse on the 16th of May. So let me just pull up the poem for Yo. So Yo is yew tree. I opened the wrong page. Download, I put it nearer to the. And with that, oh, and it opened on the right one. So this is Yo. And here is the poem for Yo. The magical 13th rune of the mystical you. Consciousness hooked in and plugged in to the seat of your soul. To be. Life on earth, seeded and eternal. The inner wood may rot, yet the trunk refills. Ancient witness of hidden sacral wisdom. Past lives clinging and calling. Old visions seen anew. Deep wonders awoken, lessons learnt. That is a beautiful energy for the theme of this solar eclipse. So should I read that again? Or have you all dozed off? It's gone very quiet here. Yes, okay, I'll read it again. Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Charity. So this is the poem for Io. This is the energy that the solar eclipse is wanting us to think about. The magical 13th rune of the mystical you. Consciousness hooked in and plugged in to the seat of the soul, to be. Life on earth, seeded and eternal. The inner wood may rot, yet the trunk refills, ancient witness of hidden sacred wisdom. Past lives clinging and calling, old visions seen anew, deep wonders awoken, lessons learned. Or learnt, sorry, I don't know why I said it in a different way there. Wassail Joyce Hartman. I know you're just being attentive. So that's interesting. Oh, look, I turned it off. There was something that was relevant to that I liked about it. It was talking about how witnessing, and the sun in many ways has witnessed since 850. This eclipse cycle has witnessed all those years, hundreds and hundreds of years. And then I was thinking about how it's talking about the trunk refilling, because this is sacral energy, and actually Ceres is a sacral, and Ceres, just before the lunar eclipse, shifts into 0 degrees of Cancer. And that's where we have the seat of our soul. That's the home of our own emotions and our families. It's that kind of energy. House 4. So you, sacral, what shall we put with this sun? I think we go with Odin. Odin and the 9 realms. Bearing in mind that always eclipse seasons are very much tied into the lunar nodes. So they're north node in Taurus, south node in Scorpio. But when you get a solar eclipse, it's all north node or south node. It's not a split of the two. So it's a new moon in Taurus, sun and moon at the same point in conjunction in Taurus. So what is this energy? Can you explain some more about this energy? Here come the ants. I can hear Björk singing Army of Me. that's an interesting one. Hell. There's something about going back to the roots of the tree. What nourishes a tree to grow? The shadows, the soil, darkness. So this, although solar eclipse, it's about that point where the light cuts out and then the returning light. I love the card of hell. I love hell as a goddess. And actually, the Christian hell is named after Hell. Wassail Hamilton. So, yes, hell is here. There's something about, I'm seeing roots reaching out through the soil, searching out for nutrients, new things that are available that you just need to keep searching for and reach out to. That's what hell is bringing. Because you, by getting the nutrients from the shadows, and bearing in mind that there's something shadowy about both solar and lunar eclipses. In one, the moon blocks out the sun. It's only partial because it's done its total season, decades ago. And so the lunar eclipse is coming is when the Earth's umbra, the shadow of the Earth, they're having a little bit of a shout out there, all the dogs. When the Earth's umbra covers, so it's about a shadow, but there's something about going from a kind of ancestral collective down towards something that's more personal with the lunar eclipse. Let's have a little bit more from Odin and the Nine Realms. Solar eclipse, please. What are we looking at with the solar eclipse? I can hear that I need a tarot deck. What, please? She doesn't want to give me any more. It's like hell ain't sharing the stage with anyone. Something tried to get out then and I didn't manage it. I'm not going to do another one. Let's go with my very old deck. This is the Morgan Greer. I've had this deck 3.5 decades. What would you like to add to the soil at the root of the sacred, sacral yew tree? Yew trees are fascinating because there's all kinds of magical properties. So when it talked in the poem about how the inside of the trunk can rot, yew trees are some of the oldest trees in the world because when the trunk in the middle rots, they're able to send new shoots up from their root system and fill out the trunk. So we're being given Knight of Cups. So I'm being shown drinking fresh emotions. So it's something about renewing of emotions. So this solar eclipse that began in 850, in 848, when there was a great conjunction, it was in Pisces. It was a water conjunction. So this solar eclipse birthed in water energy. So it's bringing something of a renewal of emotions. Intelligent emotions is what I'm hearing. Intelligent emotions. Badges of honor. I'm hearing a phrase, I'm not sure where it comes from. The soul takes flight to the world that is eternal, but it's not. It's the soul takes flight to the world that is invisible. So somehow the soul needs to take flight to the astral. There's information within the dream world, within the astral. Wow, Amy, that sounds fascinating. A worm with orange and black stripes. Orange is very sacral, and the black, obviously, there's a black moon with this. So maybe the black moon meeting the sun. Wassail Megan Horton. So what else, son? What else do you want to say about your solar eclipse? Want to say, what do you want to tell us? Solar eclipse. Wassail Kala La La Clayton. You had yellow people saying it's theirs, not yours. We have the lovers. There's something very 1970s about that drawing. So they're showing me, they're really drawing my attention to the Aran lilies. Aran lilies in many cultures are associated with death. It's like the death of old co-creational frequencies that aren't materializing, things that you actually need to let go of. This is a message that's coming through a lot. And it slightly bugs me because I'm like, you know, how much more do I have to let go of before I feel like I've found the new frequency? But there is something about searching for a new philosophical frequency of future manifestation. So what else do you want to say? We've got the co-creative. Look, this is such emotional energy. I'm being reminded that Juno is around in Pisces, bringing both an ending to relationships that are not working, but also bringing an ending to working with your spirit guides in a dysfunctional fashion. And we have the Knight of Cups, water. Now we have him upgrading to the King of Cups. It's about finding a new relationship with your spirit team. I don't know how you're all doing, but I feel like my spirit team are all standing there going, but they're not talking. It's time for us to find something. Wassail Jennifer Collins. I must have let you already. It's your first pass of exact Chiron return today. Okay, I know how old you are. That's really interesting. How does it feel, Jennifer? Do you feel on track, or do you feel as though things are slightly beyond your control? Wassail drawing momentum. Tiffany's here. Oh, trying to get your partner's attention, kept yelling his name. Well, the astral, or you kept yelling his name in the astral, Eve. So yes, so we have this King of Cups, this upgrade from Knight to King. This is about almost naivety, a sense of the naivety that we've all been under until now, because it was just a different energy. You couldn't have true emotional intelligence, because when we were in earth dominated energy, which all of our lives have been, we've been in an earth epoch that changed in 2020, you couldn't have that emotional maturity, because when earth is the dominant energy, it makes silt in all the emotions. It makes it very difficult, and it makes us feel very innocent in how we view emotions. We're not grown up, we think we are, and yet we get stressed and we kick off and we get upset with emotions. This eclipse is offering us the chance to grow up, because now it's an old eclipse energy. It's from 850. And now is the time, as it's in its last days, to understand the truth of the emotions available to us and to look forwards, not to look backwards. He's looking sideways, but now this king's turning round to face the future. It's beginning to understand how it co-creates and returns the light to the sacral. As I said, I think we're not doing it today, but Ceres, which is the sacral, will get to 0 degrees of Cancer the day before the lunar eclipse. Wassail rebels scum. Yes, exactly. Your guides, I think everyone's guides are being very quiet. We have to rescue ourselves at the moment. Your Chiron is conjunct Saturn in Pisces in grand trine with Neptune and Jupiter. That's a big lesson coming. That's a really big lesson, Tiffany. I say a wild wolf woman. Nearly missed you there. What's up, Pips? So that's the wrong deck. This is the deck I want. I want a little bit more of the astrological from the Alchemy of Astrology. Eclipse, upgrading emotions, changing the past, looking to a different future, self-actualization. Now that couldn't have been more perfectly timed. We've just been saying the guides are saying you have to actualize yourself. We have to find our way out of this energy. Liberation of the soul from material obsessions. Now then. So, the nodes. On a kind of global level, the nodes are to do with the sign they're in. So they're in Taurus. Now, yesterday in our reading, yeah, it is a bit like a skeleton key. Yesterday in our reading, we managed to get onto the subject of food for quite a long time. And that is one of the energies. There is a global discussion about affordability of food. And that's also a Taurian energy, this notion of material possessions agreed for fixed earth. And yet somehow right now with these nodes, that fixed earth is transitioning. It's just transforming. So also this is about the unseen realms. So even a shouting through the astral and a formlessness, dreams having a formlessness, almost like we need to connect with our own kind of lucidity to control some of the aspects of dreams. We've been talking for a long time about how we need to clean up our astral, because there's too many ancestors in there and they've got to shift. So another couple of cards from that deck. I need a towel, my hands are wet. That bottle was from the ice box on my... So can we have a little bit more? I don't think that's coming. Can we have a little bit more on what this solar eclipse is about? What's this solar eclipse about? The Philosopher's Stone, and it's about the journey to the lunar eclipse. I love these cards. I can't wait for them to be finished and available to print. So, 77, the Philosopher's Stone. Prima materia, all the things that make up the world, the fixed Taurian earth frequency. And then all elements to be alchemized. Everything is to be changed in this eclipse. Everything that you can find. Omnipresent philosophical matter. So all of the stuff around you that's everywhere, that's always there, needs to be reviewed, needs to be observed, needs to be witnessed. We need to connect with the natural world in some way. And then it also is to do with the sea womb. the energy of the Akashic records that births all frequencies. And this is linked with emotional opportunities and esoteric shadow gifts. Yeah, there's something about peeping under veils for definite, Charity. And it's interesting that we've got to kind of look at the astral in a different way. So this is shadow working. It says a test of time, but I've just in the last few days, and I will probably update that on the card. It is a test that runs through time, but it's more of an opportunity. The cosmos offers opportunities. It's for us to grab the opportunities, but it's a kind of testing period because there's a sense of needing endurance to grow. We need to re-engage with, I kind of want to say, our philosophical thoughts. We need to build a new philosophical program for our minds around what needs to be formed within the next 18 months until the nodes shift again. I'm going to put these back because actually they always tell me at the moment, siren, I'm doing the right thing because they're only listening at night. And they keep singing in the day at very profound moments in readings. So let's pull these back and move on to the 1st of May, which will be the first day of the Janus Geminus. So what's the Janus Geminus? You can go on my website and you can remind yourself, but I'll give you a brief rundown. It was a temple in ancient Rome, and Janus, is the two-headed primordial god of the sun, the moon, the past and the future. It's all those energies, and there's 12 columns, and we usually, in an eclipse tunnel, we work out a kind of motion or a notion that we can do at each column each day as we move through the eclipse. After the 6th column, you pause in the middle and you meet some kind of god in the energy of Null Island. And there's a 3-day period where it seems to me that it's Saturn waiting in there. And sometimes in ancient Rome, it was Saturn in the middle rather than Janus. But you can read all about this on my website, and all the information for who, what, where, and when on these columns is on the website. The only part you don't get is what we're doing now. And I guess I really should be, I could do it here. Let me just get a pen. I might have to put some timestamps in. So let's say the 1st of May is around 33:44, 1st of May. So the 1st of May, generally, as an energy, there's something a little bit missing about the 1st of May, and I'm not sure why. Maybe we'll find out. So the 1st of May, column 1, is about Pallas Athena moving into 0 degrees of Taurus. And Pallas Athena was in the stellium tear back in a year ago on the 11th of February, when there was the big lineup of 7 planets and the moon kissed each one as it went by and changed the frequency of things. Yeah, time to refine our vision. And we are definitely doing something with the visions through that rune deck. It's really interesting. I've been really enjoying it of recent. So there's a thing also on the website that I will talk about. The vertex is a particular point where 2 lines in the 3-dimensional cosmos intersect, and you have one on your birth chart, which helps to talk about your kind of fate and your karmic destiny. But globally, there's also one, and at the moment, it's on the 0 degree point all the way through this of Aries. And that's really significant because Aries as a 0 degree point points to the change of seasons. It points to the fact that each of the cardinal signs of the zodiac brings in a different season. So they're always on solstices or equinoxes. So let's have a look at what the general energy with a poem, because I'm loving my poems. what Pallas Athena's theme is for the 1st of May. Pallas Athena, what do you want to tell us? Ooh, look, and she's got 5. That's May. And it's the 1st of May. So, Rad. Let's get my little iPad up. It's such a shame I don't have a printer here. It would be really nice to have them all printed out. It is a waste of paper, and I am trying not to waste any paper if I can help it. So let's find poem number 5, Rad. So untangle from the, oh, sorry, I said that wrong. I read ahead and mixed 2 words together. 5, Rad. Unsaddle from the tangled stitches that held you fast. Unbridle yourself from the shackles of the shadow mare. Slice free and set off out of fate's starter gate. Choose to ignore the curdling cries of the battle slain as they still shriek in sleep. Eve. Sorry. Slip your knots and ride out. Do not force your horse to run its deathly course, but get down and walk your own journey. Now then. I always have to have a little look, in case you're being nice about the poems. I'm going to read the poem again without making a reference to Eve. So, right, Rad, unsaddle from the tangled stitches that held you fast. Unbridle yourself from the shackles of the shadow mare. Slice free and set off out of fate's starter gate. Choose to ignore the curdling cries of the battle slain as they still shriek in sleep. Slip your knots and ride out. Do not force your horse to run its deathly course, but get down and walk your own journey. I think that is an absolutely fantastic poem for this moment. So it's all about how we rely on, I mean, it is that thing, you know, the card number 1 in this Lenormand deck. Let me just find it and show you. That one that's just jumped between my legs might be interesting. I kind of caught it between my knees. That's what you don't need. You don't need, it's that story of Sleeping Beauty again. You don't need some handsome prince to ride in. It's you on a horse, but it's you relying on something else. Wassail Beautiful Rose. So it's you on a horse. Interesting. It was the card of house, home, being sacral energy. So, Rad, let's go with Odin and the 9 realms. Wassail Samantha, Uliana, and thank you. Rescue yourself. So, yeah, so there's this thing, right? Sleeping Beauty is a story. We tell Sleeping Beauty as a fairy story, and I think we've got the whole thing wrong. I think it's talking to us about rescuing ourselves. So, we're riding on a horse, or we get off the horse, because the poor horse doesn't need to be cut up by the briars. We need to go through into the briars and into the castle to find the Sleeping Beauty and wake her up. Who's the Sleeping Beauty? That's also us. We're finding a way to wake ourselves up from our own nightmares. Someone just wrote, Holly, slip your knots. There's a thing interestingly called hag knots. And hag knots were why you were supposed to always brush the mane and the tail of your horse because it was believed that if you left knots in the tail before you went to bed, then hags could climb up using the knots, and then they would ride your horse all night, and in the morning it would die. So slip your knots, slip your nightmares, open, uncomb. And that's also fits in with that Norse idea with Frigg, because Frigg in the cosmos, they don't know much about what stars were what in the Norse mythology, but they do know that Orion's belt was Frigg holding the distaff. And the distaff is all the wonderful combed pieces of wool or flax ready to be pulled towards a spindle and bound so that you can make things. Yeah, rescue me, but don't rescue yourself. Yeah, it's a horrible little bit of folklore, Joyce. Poor horses. So let's see what else. Pallas Athena. Pallas Athena, if I remember rightly, Pallas Athena is the one who births herself from Zeus's head, fully formed, with no mother, or she had a mother and she was pregnant and he swallowed the mother and she burst out. I think that's Pallas Athena. She's obviously the guardian protectress of cities. Oh, look, we've got Idun. So, Idun, biome, secret of youth. This is a rebirth energy. So they're reminding me of the story when Idun was kidnapped by Thurisaz, I think. And yeah, Orion's belt is Frigg, and I like to see Orion's belt now as Frigg. I don't think it's Orion's belt. I think it's Orion full stop. It's all that cluster of stars is actually Frigg and her magical distaff, which is waiting to be woven into something beautiful. So I'm being reminded of how it's almost like we are no longer eating ice food. We're no longer eating the right food. So this morning I read a really long article. A guy in The Guardian, he has to do various things. And so his task this week to test out was if he could live for a week on TikTok food, recipes that have like 1 million hits on TikTok. And they're quite often really grotesque, horrible food. And they're things like get a gherkin, hollow it out and stick a Snicker bar inside and then eat it. And he made a joke at the end after all these horrendous foods that he'd been eating, that it's almost where, because we don't value our taste buds, we've been losing our taste buds in the pandemic. It's like an energy where we're not being true to our inner biome. So our inner biome, which is part of an energy that supports our body, can't support us. And so being faced with a discord that happens between ourselves and our biome and our relationship to food. So that's what I'm getting from Idun. Like, look, there's one crow. One of the ravens is missing. Wasn't that a Disney film? Oh no, that was one of my dinosaurs is missing. Both versions are told. Yeah, I thought they were. So, Pallas Athena, Pallas Athena, Pallas Athena, Pallas Athena. What are we focusing on this opening day? Are we kind of like seeking to meditate or to contemplate, to philosophize about what our relationship is to what we eat, our inner temple, our biome? Maybe that's what we open, and maybe that's why this energy is missing, because there's something missing in our relationship with food. Oof. It's Elfamir. This is shiny divine energy. This is Elven Ring. They're kind of showing me the relationship between many biomes make up your single biome consciousness, and how many elven souls all of us, because we're all part of the Elven Ring, make up the whole of the frequency that transforms and makes the actualized reality of the world in which we live. And we need to transform our relationship to the world and to our inner world, macro and micro. That's what I'm getting. That's what the energy is. I need to write that down because I need to remember these things. So it's a macro and micro, food, biome, and the world. That's what Pallas Athena is asking us to look at on day one in the eclipse tunnel. Wassail Hayley Lucy Paul, Wassail Sea Mystics Lighthouse. Because I forgot to say that earlier. So let's move on to the Alchemy of Astrology deck. What flew over your head? Just everything I say. Moon in Gemini. Moon in Gemini. Come on, Pallas Athena. Ooh. Chariclo. And two others. Ooh, this is interesting. So, Rusted. So this is possessions, house 2. We're in house 2. That's where we're beginning. What's the final card? Ophiuchus. Now, it's really interesting because there's a star in Ophiuchus that's called Sinistra, and it's the 0 degree card of Capricorn. And it's involved in this article that I wrote, but it is the only one that actually is sort of invisible. It's the bolt from the blue when you rescue you. I know that when we get to the energy of the 12th column, the Sinistra Ophiuchus energy at 0 degrees of Capricorn is the only one that's not being activated. It's one we have to search for. It's almost like this eclipse tunnel is when we begin to create our new philosophical journey forwards. Okay. So what do we have here? Oh, this is interesting, fascinating. Breathing issues. This is about the anxiety. Oh, look, we've got 555. Change. It has to be change. Breath work. We have to look at breath work. We have to control our breathing. The wind is picking up. Wassail Rebels come. I can't resist. It's such a good name. The wind's picking up. Yeah, there's signs out there. And that's another thing that we have to do. We have to work out how we relate to our synchronicities. And we have to learn that during this period, we kind of have to reevaluate the synchronicities that we desire. I've changed all my synchronizing numbers recently. I just decided I've done the work with them, and now each time I follow those synchronicities of old, they're going to lead me down a dead end. So I'm searching for new synchronicities. So it's really important. Wassail Laura Kavanagh. So this is breath anxiety, lungs. This is another of the issues that will be coming up in that 2-week period. I mean, if the moon's in Taurus, it's going to go into Gemini quite quick. So I think we're going to be faced with a kind of anxiety. Maybe that's why there's this energy that the 1st of May is sort of not fully present. It gets more interesting on the 2nd, because I think the 2nd is when Venus enters Aries. but we'll see when we get there in a minute. I don't want to jump ahead. But obviously, all these columns are linked in. So Characlo is about the graceful enforcer of boundaries, but it's also, these two are together and they fell together. This is an awakening through illness. This is the last 2 years, and actually what, having been in a global frequency of absolute change, a journey of change, Pallas Athena is trying to wake us with Characlo, and bear in mind, Characlo, she's a shapeshifter. We have to shift. That's what this eclipse is about, shifting perceptions. She was part Centaurix, and she was part water undine kind of spirit. And she was the partner of Chiron. Chiron, I've forgotten who was having their Chiron. Sorry, my brain can't keep that. You'll tell me again. So this is shamanic law, new shamanic experiences coming in from a kind of connection to the elven community, the elven ring, the space behind the veil in which we all hold part of the frequency of the world we live in. We have to transform our philosophy, which will then transform a whole global philosophy. It's not about doing something just for the personal. Wassail Paris. And then we have rusted, calcified, coated, tarnished, the patina, the choked persona, the material grasping possessiveness, sorry. This is a really powerful card about knocking the crust off all the things in your life that don't serve you. All the things. You have to work out what they are. Wassail Danny Cali. So this is day one. And then, as I said, it's linking in to the bolt from the blue, the snake bearer. Now, the snake bearer is, and I always have trouble saying his name, is Asclepius, who was the god of healing, but the snake that he helped used to whisper wisdom in his ear, and it taught him the art of resurrection. This eclipse tunnel is about resurrecting us, rescuing us, changing us, forwards as we move into the world. So that's day one. I'm going to pull these cards back because I think each time they have to have the chance of coming out again to show links between things. Don't know how many we're going to do today. We'll see. So we're going to go on to the 2nd of May. The 2nd of May is column 2. It's quite handy because to begin with, they match the date. Oh no, the 2nd of May is the moon entering Gemini at 0 degrees and conjuncting Alcyone, or Alcyon, but more about that later. The moon conjuncts Mercury at this point. So we're looking at the moon and Mercury in some kind of conjunction. I just need to check. When's Venus then? Oh, 3rd. I knew it was soon. So we've got Pallas Athena. I'm just going to reverse before I write down the time on this. The Pallas Athena one is an intellectual warfare with a kind of amassed density to congelate, to thicken the energy, to change the energy. 272 in the deck. So I should probably do that for the next one. So moon conjunct Mercury is the theme. So let me write down. See, I love the way I plan things. 2nd of May. So 55, 35. So the 2nd of May, column 2, let's go back, start all that again. I will read you, it's Moon conjunct Mercury. So the Moon is about emotional intelligence. Conjunction is merging. And then Mercury is obviously the throat and communication. But bearing in mind that Mercury is now in Gemini in rulership. Yes, Mercury is going to go retrograde on the 10th and 11th and 12th. It goes stationary retrograde. And immediately when it does, it turns around and bangs straight into Sappho at about 3-4 degrees of Gemini. And that's going to be really interesting because Sappho is sensual wordsmithery and Mercury is obviously Mr. Chatty. So that's going to be an important day. I can't remember what day it is. I think it's the 12th. But we'll get there on another video because we're going through column by column. So this is Moon conjunct Mercury, and we're going to get, oh, that's the wrong deck. We're going to get that and get ourselves a little rune poem. There we go. It's linked to the day before. That's what it's like. It's like columns 1 and 2 seem to be totally and utterly combined. So it's not just the fact that you need to sense that sort of energy of Athena in Taurus, but you need to link it into the fact that the moon is conjuncting Mercury in Gemini. Interesting, really early degrees energy. So I'm gonna, do I get another one to go with that, or do I read the same poem? What do you think? Wassail solas. Same poem? Yeah, I think it is. You were too slow. I'm going with the same poem because I feel like we need to hear it yet again. It's about untangling. And I think that we need, maybe the point is that you don't untangle in a day. Because that's another of the things that we have a habit of doing. We are always looking, oh, yes, I get you. All right, I'm listening. We're always looking for quick fixes. And this is a fix that takes 2 weeks to just begin. So there will be more poems, but I'm being told to stick with this one. Rad, here it is again. Unsaddle from the tangled stitches that held you fast. Unbridle yourself from the shackles of the shadow mare. Slice free and set off out of fate as they still shriek in sleep. I get it. Slip your knot and ride out. Do not force your horse to run its deathly course, but get down and walk your own journey. Overnight, between this chit-chat, meditation, connection you have with Pallas Athena, to sort of review what you need to change, you will have an astral connection to dealing with this. And that will bring you into the moon, the esoteric conjunction with Mercury. It will give you a way to understand and communicate what you need to change. And that's why it makes sense now, because I could never get an energy for the 1st of May. It was an absent frequency. So let's see what the energy is from Odin and the 9 realms around the moon conjunct and the fact that we've had this dream. It's interesting as I look out. At the moment, there's a lot of trees here in the orchard being pruned. And that's what we're talking about. Thanks, Megan. She loves the poems. So, moon conjunct Mercury. I'm being told this takes a while. This ordering takes a while. This isn't something you can do in 5 minutes. This is something you have to commit to doing. If you want to transform your existence to match the best opportunities available, you've got to put in some effort in this eclipse season. And I'm not going to do that thing again, just focus on one column. You got to do them all. We all have to do all these columns. Yeah, it is. It's not astrological, Beltane, though, I don't think. It's just where we put it. There's an actual astrological lineup. It's usually a bit later, but I'm not sure when it is this year. I haven't looked it up, Lindsay. There's one Odin card. It's like this is card 1. This is fair. This is all that you keep as material possessions that harm you, that stop your energy moving forwards. It's card 1 and 5, the 1st of May. We're on the 2nd, but the energy of the 1st of May will not make itself apparent until you've been to sleep on the astral and wake up on the 2nd. And then you will have a sense of how you unpick your tangled knots. No, I didn't, unfortunately, because I felt that it's not my land here to be burying things in. It belongs to somebody else. And I didn't do that with my hair. I kept it for days and wondered what to do with it. And in the end, I felt I needed to just give it to the rubbish. And that was a really difficult decision for me because it felt special, but it also felt traumatic, and it also felt like it needed to go on a journey away from me. I needed to leave. And so I took it away from here. And I did for ages. Before I knew I was going to cut it off, I wanted to plait it and cut the plait, and I thought I would keep the plait. And then there was just something where I knew I had to let go of it. It was full of grief and all those kind of energies that I've been through. And it had to just be completely removed from my life. So what else would you like to say? We've got this is possessions that we hem in, possessions of cattle, livestock, that we build fences around to show how powerful and wealthy we are, when actually we're not, because we're restricting nature's own decisions. You know, if you keep cattle to show your status, you're not allowing freedom. And the second card that comes after fair is Ur, which is the bull completely free to roam. This is destiny energy. This journey is a destiny, but it's an opportune destiny. It's an energy that's written in time. The Norns, I want to say it's sweet, but in a way it's not. There's a kind of energy where they're saying, because your destiny, because your fate is written in time, we know who will do this. We already know the listeners, the viewers, who will do this because it's written in their destiny. Other people will do their version of this at another time. So you still have choice, sort of. You do have the choice to not do any of it. But at the same time, there's a point in your destiny and they know when you will. And theirs is about unpicking the briars of the future, letting go of the past so that you can step and walk into the journey of the now. So this is the moon, that emotional energy conjuncting Mercury, communicating some new emotions. So Let's see what we get with the Alchemy of Astrology deck. Yeah, it's interesting, Haley. I have a problem or a difficulty or a misalignment or a way in which I can't work out certain things because of my belief in the norms and a belief in signing pre-incarnation contracts. And so I think sometimes there's a veneer that it's connected to our soul, and it is connected to our soul, but our soul signs up to a contract of knowledge of every step that we will take, and we then don't remember it, and we have to find, refind, and link into the energies. I don't know. It's one of those really confusing ones, Haley. Wassail Grace Kalimaya. So, Moon conjunct Mercury in Gemini. Moon. Oh, that was the moon card in the last one when I said there was a moon coming in me. There you go. We're in the world of magic. So what have we got here? We've got Gemini. We've got the Earth, but this is the element of Earth, not the planet as such. Oh no, it is the planet. It is the planet. And then this is Moon in Libra, and this is where it began. We talked about the Moon in Gemini. So a mutable air frequency, a chance to reevaluate, starting on the second, your philosophical thoughts to move you forwards in this Taurus, Scorpio nodal season that goes on until next year. So this idea, what are we dealing with here? Idealism, compromising, and an incompletion anxiety. So it's like when we begin this, we know that there's more to come, and that's going to give people sometimes an anxiety. But the point is, you need to change your thoughts. Mutable Gemini air frequency leads to the 0 degrees of Libra, which is the cardinal air. When you re-establish the energy of your new philosophy moving forwards. Wassail Illuminati, Illuminati. I can't sing Illuminati upside down and backwards. So there's a synthesis and a need to fix on new thoughts. And it's interesting because Gemini in alchemy is fixation, but we're coming out of Taurus fixed earth energy. So we've got to refix, we've got to synthesize a new set of energies. You've got to become more fire resistant. You've got to transform yourself. You've got to zero in on what you need to be to assimilate a new version of you. I am loving this. And then we have Earth. So the Earth is the universal seed. We are the universal seed. We are in yellow electric seed. This is the grid anchor. These are the song lines that are transforming. These are the old ancestral tunes that have been sung with this solar eclipse since 850. It's a sacred earth walk. This tunnel is offering us a newness, a nowness, an openness to create something new within, they're really drawing me within a year. That's what I mean about there are no fast fixes. And the Norns know which of you will be following this to create a new philosophy and bring their own lives into a much greater sense of bliss. Wassail Esther, Wassail Laura Z, 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 Z. So that is column 2, linked to column 1 with a dream overnight in between. So now we're going to go on. Oh, I need a drink. It's 1, 1, 1. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. 5 ones. So I guess the next day, as Venus moves, we begin to get a new frequency. These first 2 days, evaluating. Pop these cards back. Pop these cards back. It's so funny that I said I'm going to pop them back so the cards can come out again. And that one did. So I hope it doesn't come out again. Because I'm not reading that poem again. So, hang on. Let's go to a timestamp. 3rd of May, column 3, 111 or 11200. So, column 3, 3rd of May, and I believe we are looking at Venus entering 0 degrees of Aries. So Venus enters 0 degree of Aries, the I am 0 point, and hits the activation of the vertex. See, the energy changes on the 3rd. Being Venus, it is rippling with love, emotions. And then you get the I feel 0 point of Cancer being energized, along with the Venus rules Libra, which is giving you that energy of thoughts, which is the I relate 0 point. So we're still, what we won't be getting is the 0 point of Capricorn yet, because that's the one you have to create for yourselves. So this is about moving towards the collective and the influence. There's an influence that takes place here of the kind of artistry. That's just another part of the energy frequency that's coming up. Celebrated artists, there might be something that comes out of this energy on the 3rd to do with some kind of celebrated artist bringing some kind of message. I don't know. On the collective level, we're still dealing with everything really on a personal level. So let's begin with what would Venus, there we go. What would Venus like to bring up? I think I know what it is. It isn't. I thought it was going to be shadows. But actually, what is Venus bringing up? The Norns, the destiny point, our moment of coinciding with a fate that was always written. That Yor has got a great poem, if I remember rightly. Don't remember a lot of them. So let's go for the poem of Yor. And this is the energy for day 3, column 3, Venus entering Aries, the 0 point being activated of the vertex. So I have no idea why I've closed the page, but I need to open this set of poems. We just have to wait for it to download. 28. So here we go. This is the poem for Yor, which is Jormungandr. So, Yor, there's always some point in time that is destined. How that fated moment unfolds is how we choose to step towards it. Thor and Yor were forever woven together, always to die together. Will you not pierce and stitch your pathway to your inevitable focused future and then start sowing ever fearlessly further onwards. Facing fate and not skirting the issue. Your is a gift from time. So I'm going to read that one again, even though it's got so many F's in it that I can't say while I'm lacking my top teeth. So here we go. Your. There's always some point in time that is destined. How that fated moment unfolds is how we choose to step towards it. For and your forever woven together, always to die together. Will you not pierce and stitch your pathway to your inevitable focused future and then start sowing ever fearlessly further onwards? Facing fate and not skipping the issue. Your is a gift from time. So the cards are saying, day 3, this column, this opportunity that opens is fated to you. Thank you, Jennifer. Jenny's. What's her Jenny's Bertrand? So we have that card. Now let's go with Odin and the 9 rounds. Odin and the 9 rounds. So what would you like to say, Venus, about this destiny point that's an opportunity that's unfolding and opening and being presented to us? How do we walk towards it? Do we walk towards it joyfully, or do we walk towards it apprehensively? Because I'm sure you know which one you're meant to pick. I just saw shadows then. Bilderust, a gift from heaven. It's like a cosmic bridge will open between the astral and Midgard, the world, to offer you a chance to meet a destiny point. Oh, she's back. Hell. You've got to connect with hell. You've got to look at your shadows. You've got to look at the darkness. You've got to put your feelers out at the beginning on the 30th. You've got to look at the nutrients that you benefit from and the nutrients that are actually dead and toxic to you. You have to decide, and hell will return the light. It's a destiny that is coming. But you have to run and skip and dance and be blissful about that coming energy, because you've looked at your shadows. You've done a bit of your shadow work here. That's what's opening here. Eclipses are about shadows, the returning light. So what else do we have? Purify your wounds. Purify your wounds. So Chiron, nervous system. Primal wounds, shadow integration. And then this is to purify, which is to look at your soul and to do to soul ablutions, to kind of be at your toilet, to clean yourself up. The idea of sitting down and looking at yourself and looking at your life in a mirror, in a smoky mirror, and cleaning it, purifying it, bringing it into ascendancy so that you can return your own light. These deities are here because they want to bring changes to you, but you have to enact them. We have to do it. Oh, thanks, Rebel Scum. I love killing people. So naughty. Right, so any further message, please, from Venus and Hell? There it is. You've got to find your essence. You have to do your soul ablutions. You have to sit at your toilette. You have to look yourself in a mirror and work out how to remold your essence into absolute shiny beauty. Wow, Wassail Stephanie. It's her birthday on the partial solar eclipse. This is definitely something you need to work on. So bringing yourself back to yourself, bringing yourself back to your core nature, bringing your most precious essence to the surface, re-finding yourself. Also, we've got 110. 110 for me is always an energy of pure magical opportunity being on offer. So that's column 3. I'm loving these. Yours is May the 16th, so you're the other end. You two need to get together, Intuition Goddess, because you're the lunar eclipse. She's the solar. Look, they're here. We've got the sun and the moon in the house. Oh, and you got a twin. See, Ianus. The Ianus Geminus is about Gemini frequency, and we've just had the energy of the moon conjuncting Gemini. I know your birthday's not Gemini, but we've got all the energies, all the frequencies for a magical eclipse season. Look, Aurora is the 16th as well. I'm really sorry, Charity, but I don't do the word twin flames. I have an aversion because people have been using it in the spiritual world for too long to remain in toxic relationships. So I like to call people mirrored souls, because it takes away all that toxic energy. It's just a semantics thing. But there are too many people that stay in abusive relationships that someone's told them is a twin flame. And I just can't cope with it. So let's move on to column 4. Column 4. So the 4th of May is column 4. And Wassail Michael Crick, haven't seen you for a while. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2. That was interesting. It was almost, actually it wasn't, it was 4, 5. I just misread that around the wrong way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is column 4. Let me just give you a quick rundown of what zero energy we're honing in on. Column 4, Sappho enters 0 degrees of Gemini, chasing a conjunction with Mercury. So this is the sensual wordsmith in pursuit of the king of chatty discourse. So we're looking at Sappho and Mercury, but really Sappho. They get together later. So this is the energy of Sappho, the asteroid of hooray! Finish that novel, Michael. So Sappho. Well, look, this is a really interesting one for you. Been finishing your novel. So Sappho is the sensual wordsmith, but it's coming up. It's in the article. Hang on, I can put the article down for you, Michael. One of the columns is when it's about the 12th of 11th or 12th of May. Mercury turns round from stationary, goes retrograde, and immediately bangs into Sappho. And so that's the sensual wordsmith meeting absolutely in conjunction. I reckon that day, if there's anything that's been blocked, I reckon it will flow like buggery that day. You won't be able to shut anybody up on that day. Right. Let's have a look at what Sappho is bringing to 0 degrees of Gemini. 0 degrees of Gemini. I feel like that is the card. Witchcraft, and sorcery. So 65. Let's get up in sheer. So 65. Witchcraft. Witchcraft. This is really interesting, actually. This is about female magic in many ways. So here we go. Witchcraft 65. Sorceress that sees all. Spying, scrying, sliding between here and all realms around. Primordial magic maker, crafter, healer, rune binder, community elder who sits and sings spirit songs to glide and peek inside that other space where fates and destinies are rooted and true. The elder staff bearer, the power sharer between here and there and anywhere, the sedir, the sheer wisdom of the shamaness, vulva. So the vulva are the female shaman of astrology. They're the community elders that control all the magic with their big staffs. So let's just read that poem again, because I like that one. Witchcraft. Sorceress that sees all, spying, scrying, sliding between here and all realms around. Primordial, magic maker, crafter, healer, rune binder, community elder who sits and sings spirit songs to glide and peek inside that other space where fates and destinies are rooted and true. The elder staff bearer, the power sharer, between here and there and anywhere, the sedir, the sheer wisdom of the shamaness, vulva. Cool. So let's find out what Sappho, in the 9 realms, wants to add to this wordsmithery that's going down. Oh, I think that was Idun again from the solar eclipse. Wassail face, Wassail Aurora. Well, it's interesting that you say that, Aurora. Lilith is actually at 0 degrees of Cancer. Moved there on the 15th of April. But there is a kind of link between, oh, look, they got really busy there. There is a kind of link between the energy of Lilith and Hell that's been coming up a lot in this. So they are it's been coming up a lot in this. Hell, she ain't going away. Right, this is big feminine energy. Idun, the apples of health that were stolen from the gods are being returned. We are being returned. We need to eat of the apples and become our magical selves again. We need to reconnect. That's part of this tunnel, part of the philosophy. So we've got Idun, we've got Hel, and we've got Skadi. Skadi, she of the second chances. She who creates her own destiny. She who is told by the gods that she must pick her husband by his feet after they've killed her dad. And so she goes along with it and she gets a shit husband that she's not interested in. She don't want Njord. Njord just wants to sit there and pine for the sea. And so she walks away. She gets a divorce and she goes and finds herself, her own life. That's what we're dealing with here. The truth of our own life. Beautiful energy, really powerful, big. I want to say that again, big energy. And this is an energy that's from the roots of the tree to the epidering branches that are hanging heavy with apples, apple. And just standing on your own 2 feet. She's a goddess of snowshoes. She don't slip over anymore. And she's a giantess. It's big energy. Big energy on this day that we've moved into Gemini with Sappho. You see, now that's also absolutely interesting. Someone just said about Dark Moon Lilith, and I said she's moved into 0 degrees of Cancer. Sirius has come up, the sacral, where we love ourselves, where our power, where our core energy, where our witchcraft comes from. Sirius moves into 0 degrees of Cancer as well on the 15th, I think, the day before the lunar eclipse. And it's come out with Pallas Athena. Pallas Athena is now at 0 degrees of Taurus. Sappho's at 0 degrees of Gemini. And both Dark Moon Lilith and Ceres are echoing the energy of 0 degrees of Cancer. This is about resetting your frequencies. Self-love, emotional truths, luminescent mortal, understanding that we are all shiny mortals. Never mind the energy of the gods and goddesses. They are archetype energies that are offering us frequencies, but you have to, yes, sit in your own unique center, Pare. This is also mother energy. That's a really important energy. Mother energy, womb energy, cosmic womb energy, sea womb energy, Njord. This is harvesting heroic endeavors. What's the heroic endeavor? That getting back up when everyone's pushed you down and just going, I'm doing it my way. That's the heroic endeavor that Pallas Athena and all these goddess frequencies on the 0 degrees are offering us. I'm not going to shuffle any more on that one because that's a message clear in itself. So let's pop those ones back and we'll move on to the 5th column, which means something else, but we don't have to worry about that. It's the enemy within. So maybe it matters. Maybe that might be a theme of the 5th column. How we disrupt ourselves. Who knows? Let's see. So the 5th of May, 5-5, which is column 5. And that's at 1, 3, 4, 50. 5th of May, column 5. Let's see what we've got on that day. It's in the article that's on my blog with images of all the cards. So this is Moon, Mercury, Sappho. So Alcyon is at 0 degrees of Gemini. So we're still at 0 degrees of Gemini. So it's now that star has bumped into several of the other players in this thing. So you've had conjunctions there with the Moon, Mercury, and Sappho. Alcyone is Eta Tauri, part of the constellation of Taurus, which is the shoulder, but it's actually on the 0 degrees of Gemini. And it's about transforming from fixed earth energies to mutable air. So that's the energy of the great mutation when we moved in the Saturn and Jupiter conjunction in 2020, when we moved from a 200-year period of Earth to the period of air. This is the transformation point. This is the point where we're beginning to get change. It's the 5th of the 5th. It's change. That's what we know of those numbers. So here's the article with all this information on that I've posted. So we're looking at Moon, Mercury, Sappho, and Alcyone. Alcyone is the daughter of Atlas. She's one of the Pleiades. She's one of the ladies of the Pleiades. Let's get a poem for this day. Really not sure if who's talking to us, but it is Ophalagu. Ophalagu is the mirror. We've just been talking about looking in your quiet for your soul evolutions. Oh, really? The Grand Dama Samba. Let's do a little dance, people. 63 is always an interesting energy because that's Nikola Tesla trapping frequency. But I would say this is more about an adjustment. Are you ready to embrace your truer potential? That's what this energy is about. There's a frequency that's attached to this, which is again to do with hell. I think this poem contains one of the dragons, and it's the dragon that looks to the dead and scents all of the dead in hell's realm. So let's find the poem for Ophalagu. I don't know why I keep going out of the program. I'm not sure I'm actually pressing that button or whether it's doing it itself. I'll have a sip of water while. Right, I've got Ophalagu. I think this one's really hard for me to say with no teeth. But you know, that's part of me accepting my new frequency, is that I have no appetite at the moment, and there will be a solution later. But I'm having to just deal with what I have right now, and that's a very similar thing. I have to look in mirrors and accept that. So, Ophalagu. Here's the Ophalagu poem for you. The highest cosmic crest that dances and breaks at the feet of the elven ring. A gift so rare, a mantle to wear with mystical, magical secrets. I'm going to start that one again. I got so excited by the fact that I've got a really complicated word of the name of the dragon coming up. Here we go again. Ophalagu. The highest cosmic crest that dances and breaks at the feet of the elven ring. A gift so rare, a mantle to wear with mystical, magical secrets breathed into your being by Nithorgir, the dragon form the gods use to witness your soul. When you mirror an aspect of their now flawless soul, they may, just may, allow you to channel an Ophalagu, just for you, something special. That's nice. There's something special. Wassail sacred seal. Wassail intuition goddess. I may have sung some of these names before, but I'm so involved in these poems. Let's do that poem again. Ophalagu, 63. The highest cosmic crest that dances and breaks at the feet of the elven ring. A gift so rare, a mantle to wear with mystical, magical secrets breathed into your being by Nithorgir, the dragon form the gods use to witness your soul. When you mirror an aspect of their now flawless soul, they may, just may, offer you to channel an ophalagu just for you, something special. So this is an opportunity to transform your frequency. So let's see what we're getting. I feel like we're actually connecting with the dragon at this point. So what does the dragon want to say to us? And hell will come out again. Hooray! It's a man. Tear. But tear is about letting go, is about sacrificing something. What are you willing to sacrifice that you cling to so dearly as you sit at your toilette and face yourself in your smoky mirror? What will you let go of that will clear the smoke in your mirror? Oh, thanks, Holly. Do you know what, Holly? Do you want to moderate for a bit? Let's just do it, Holly. Let's just see if I can. Whoa! Look at you, Holly. If you don't like it, just say no. Wassail Steve. Yeah, I understand. I suppose you were saying that you were having teeth issues. I just don't have any at the top anymore. I've got a denture coming, but God knows when. So Tyr is here. What else have we got, please, from this energy of the fifth column? That's all right, Eve, don't worry. Yeah, you're in blue now. You got a spanner. You're another spanner. Oh, there we go. You got a spare set. I'll borrow them. Something's calling. There's something triumphant. It's a frequency change. It's a frequency change. That's what the column on the fifth is about. Learning to accept yourself in a new frequency. Wassail a little wing happy. So a frequency transformation is coming upon you. I feel like it's just the announcement because Fenrir here always makes me think of the moon, the full moon, and the full moon's coming on the 16th. So this is like announcing, oh, hang on a minute. Yeah, we're dealing with a lot of energy. Alcyone, this energy in the 0 degrees, voicing, galdeering, so singing in many ways, nightingale, which is where galdeer comes from, to sing, to speak a new energy, a new you into being. It won't happen like that. You have to speak it into reality. This is when you sit at your mirror and you embrace your own change of frequency. Let's get some of these on there. There's a wind picking up now. There's a wind of change around. We're waiting for rainy season here. I'm hoping that the first day I choose to go upstairs on the roof in the hammock, it'll really, really rain, because I thought that would look really nice. Oh, I see the link of my PayPal account. Is PayPal me rustling around, or PayPal me / rustling around? I would set the link in, but I haven't got it with me. What have we got here? Oh, this is also interesting. This is a cleansing. So if you're clearing your smoky mirror, you need to cleanse your energy wings. You need to work on communication. Thyroid and thymus frequency comes in here. Soften, soften, tin, soften your energy, soften your metal. Be willing to go into, I want to say like your Bronze Age. It's like being, you need to be more of an alloy. So this is really cleansing your frequency. Frequency. This is aligning. This is preparing for a post-transitional 12-year period. And Jupiter is about to go into 0 degrees of Aries as one of these columns. And the Earth has come back. The song lines change today. Your personal connection to the song lines transform today. 5th of the 5th. You begin to speak your new song. That's gorgeous. Yeah, we will go back, Amy, to upstairs in the hammock. I'm not fully well in the mouth, and I've got to stay near the fridge to be near cool water. In fact, my water here, that needs refilling, and I really should go over there and put it in. I'm just going to hang on. If I get really desperate, I might have one more bottle. Let me just run and see. It's in the freezer. Have a chat among yourselves. I'm refilling this water. It's my favorite. It's frozen, and you can go, you can crack it. I love that. So the song lines, your personal song lines, are transforming into a new nowness. New, right here. Let's just get, it's going to be dark. Ooh. We've only got one more column to get through in this one. And then Saturn in the middle, we're doing another day. And then we'll do the other 6 columns on another day. Oh, John D's in the house. Actually, sorry, a load of people came in. And I was like, when I stopped talking, I say hello to them all, and I didn't. So let me just go back and look and find you. Wassail DA Studios. Wassail Robin Salala Rosemary. Wassail Num Num. Wassail Elaine B. I hope that's everybody. I don't like missing you out. John D, the Monas Hieroglyphica. This is Arcana. This is divine secret wisdom coming to you as you change your frequency, as you realign your philosophy. And it's, oh, look, Moon in Cancer. So we are linking in again to that energy of Dark Moon Lilith at 0 degrees in Cancer, and the coming frequency of Ceres moving the sacral into the 0 degrees. Wassail Ivana DA Studios. So I want to say that there's an energy here where if you're not, they're saying if you're not doing your daily things, just it's only 2 weeks. You just got to go through 1 column a day. Think about the things that are being said here. On that day, you're going to get a bellyache because you're not renewing your sacral frequency. And that's what we're doing. We're clearing those wounds that are ancestral, the old song lines, renewing our frequency, retuning ourselves, creation of unity. Science as magic. It's understanding something magical from a new energy point of view. And it's big new ideas. This is fire. And that begins with cardinal fire being the 0-degree point of Aries where Jupiter is heading. So again, all of these energies are merging, but you have a different purpose each day at each column. So you do 6 days, and then you get to do a little 3-day rest. And then you do another 6 days, and then the lunar eclipse comes. It's not asking too much. It is. So there's something spontaneous that will come from your new personal songline. So that's column 5. We're going to move on to column 6. I've lost the ability to whistle at the moment, and it's so frustrating because I'm a really good whistler. And I go to whistle, and I can't do any other stuff. I used to be able to whistle like a songbird. Yeah, Robin, it will. But what I would say is go through this video each day on the right date and just do the work, and all of these alignments will come in. They're being gifted to us with a kind of philosophical notion of what you can look at to get you there really easily, rather than just thinking if you just clear your sacral, because clearing your sacral isn't just like a job of doing one thing. It's about pulling pegs and pieces and retuning and looking at our thoughts and our emotions on a really different basis, where one peg affects another peg. So this is the 6th of May now. And this is column 6. And this is 1, 5, 2, 40. So 6th of May, column 6. Let's get a rune and let's get a poem. Why do you need secrets? Who's got secrets? The secrets are cosmic of the universe. So in many ways, your Nordic embroidery is a secret to you, even though you helped to compose it and thread it. And so it's really about how we have to forget things to relearn them, is maybe the best way of saying it. I really don't know Dr. Hugh Len's work, I'm afraid, none. I'm just giving you an energy that my team and spirit guides think is a good way to move forwards. Yeah, I absolutely, honestly, I don't hold secrets from people. It is really important that we're as open as we can. It's really weird how people are not comfortable with honesty quite often and get really upset by it. Especially when it means acknowledging something where we may have done something that we find has upset somebody else. You know, if we have an open, honest discussion about it, you let go of it, but some people can't do that. So that's the wrong deck. This is the deck for column 6. So column 6. Oh, hang on. Don't even know what we're doing. I haven't gone there. Column 6. Oh, yeah, this is interesting. This is Regulus, the royal star, which is at 0 degrees of Virgo now. It's no longer in Leo. And so here we're looking at the energy of transforming the fixed earth into that mutable air energy, and how we bring that energy with a new philosophy that we're developing, personal, retuned songline, a personal songline. How do we bring that back in and earth it? We use mutable Virgo frequency. The royal star now being at 0 degrees. Yeah, oh, it's Dr. Ho'oponopono. I know, yeah, I just didn't know his name. The thing is, I feel that a lot of the time for me, I have to try and find my personal pathway through. So although I know a little of Dr. Hugh Len's Ho'oponopono, it's not something I would follow and do. because I have to, under my life, find my way through just as he found his way through. And we're offering here ideas that we can play with, but it's always about you creating your personal pathway and philosophy through. My philosophy won't fully match yours. I'm just giving you examples of possibilities to help you find your pathways through. Hopefully, anyway. So, yeah, I read a lot about him. I just didn't remember his name. That's so... Yeah, no, I know. I read about how he did all of that, and that's about us accepting how we interact with the world and we create the world ourselves. But people still have to find a philosophy with which to do that. That's the interesting part. And I know a lot of people that, and in fact, my hostess here, she had a dream where she said she saw a word, and I said to her, write the word down. She said, I can't. She said, and as she started to say it, she was kind of finding the word Ho'oponopono. And so I taught her about it and said that she should maybe look it up and see how it works for her. Because it's interesting how nothing is right for everybody, but there are pathways that we can walk at certain points that help us on our journey. But yeah, it was amazing when she said it. I was like, I know what that word is. Pleiades, ladies, and crystal azure. Regulus is above your backyard view. Fabulous. Regulus is fascinating me at the moment because Regulus is meant to deal with the solstice in June. And I can't help thinking that it's nearer now to the equinox. And I did a reading back in Portugal where I feel like either they're changing their focus or they're shifting who watches the different equinox and solstice energies. So what do we have here on this day? We have Björk. So this is begin, poplar tree. So just a reminder, we're dealing here with the energies of the transformation of Leo through Quicksilver, which is that energy of mutability, into Virgo. How do we, now that we've cleared our smoke mirror, how do we wire ourselves in? We begin again. It's really quite beautiful. Let's get the let's get the poem for that. Look, everyone should have a look at him. He's really interesting. Ho'oponopono. It's a really fascinating philosophy, but it's another one of those pieces of a jigsaw that isn't always the totality. So we have to learn from looking at certain things and working out, all of us, what is our own personal frequency in life. So I'm not opposed or being difficult. I'm just saying that there's never one simple solution. We're all scrabbling through, trying to piece together all the different parts. So this is Björk. This is the poem. Oh, you're poplar, crystal azure. So this is the poem for Björk. Adapting to relentless environmental stress. Poplar trees wrap seeds in cotton casings and give these future dreams and wishes to the wind to carry, spread, and distribute. Their roots, safe from wildfires, are studded with buds, ready to erupt from below the soil and grow anew, same roots, new home, new world. Begin again knowing more about your future and how to fill it. That's such a perfect card for this. It is the same star, it's just in a new place. It moved several years ago, but it's now in Virgo, and we need to start acknowledging that all energy moves, all things transform, and all things grow again, but from the same roots. So they're sending out roots, and there's little buds that can come up safe under the soil from wildfires. Beautiful poem. I should read that again, shouldn't I? Sorry, it turned it off really quickly. Now the iPad won't come back on. Here's the poem just once more. Björk. Adapting to relentless environmental stress. Poplar trees wrap seeds in cotton casings and give these future dreams and wishes to the wind to carry, spread, and distribute. Their roots, safe from wildfires, are studded with buds, ready to erupt from below the soil and grow anew. Same roots, new home, new world. Begin again, knowing more about your future and how to fill it. To you philosophizing your way forwards into a new frequency. That's great. I love it. I have, Michael. I hope I don't have to repeat it again. So let's move and see what Odin and the Nine Realms wants to say about this energy, this new frequency. Because it's again, look, we're 0, 0, 0s. We're all these zeros. What do you want to say? Sing with your soul light. Odin. There we go, 2. I'm having 2. So Odin's here. Odin's polarity. Odin's almost saying, right, look, you're going through the Ianus Geminus. You're going through a temple from a door of the sun to the door of the moon. And you're reaching the halfway point now where you're about to pause and have a little chat as you begin again with Saturn in the middle. And what do we have? Ooh, Nidalfalir, a gift from the dark elves, a truth, a personal truth that's linked to your new frequency, that's linked to your Ophilagu. That's what I'm getting here. Wassail Morton and Diana Rantes. Yeah, that crystal is it is the fall energy. It is the begin again energy. Begin again with kind of blind faith. You've got to trust this is all correct. Crazy. I'm crazy for being so lonely. I don't know if that is Patsy Pine. But anyway. Odin's gift to you, wrong deck. Odin's gift to you is something of a truth of your new frequency. Where am I getting the poems? They're all of the poems I've been channeling and writing for the new rune deck that Rob and Reem and I have been making. So they're from spirit through my mind. And I wrote them all. I wrote a few months ago, and then I was like, I've got to sit down and get these all done. And they kind of got channeled in about 3 days. There's 78 of them. And then what happened was they just kind of flowed really, really quickly. And then I had to review them all and just check I hadn't done spelling mistakes. And then I go through them all with Rob and Reem, and we work out whether they're good, bad, or just ugly. And so, yeah, you can write to me at Rustling Around, but I do get so many emails, it takes me ages to read them all. So there's a whole series. There's 78 poems, and they will all be. I'm going to try and publish some of them on my website under the poetry section that I have. But I obviously can't put them all out yet because I don't want someone to steal all the cards before we publish them. So what do we have here? Interesting. We have sulfur. Now, I just need to go back because in the article, sulfur is the very first energy of the vertex point. It's the energy to initiate cardinal modality. This is the point. The gift is to initiate yourself totally and utterly into the new energy of the 0 degrees of all the cardinal points. It's not saying you get the whole gift. You get the opportunity by the 6th column. That's what we're saying. All the information can be found in the description box-ish. And Ollie, I need to put the timestamps in when I finish. So this is the new season of big ideas within your soul. Big ideas within your own soul. It's also another 5. It's another energy of change. This is resetting. Change yourself to a 0 energy. Rebirth. Thank you, Michael. I say thank you, Michael, because Michael's very good at poems. So this is very interesting. There's 2 cards face down, but we are back with the lunar eclipse again. So we're reaching the halfway point. We're about to stop, get a gift of ourselves and our new frequency from Odin. And we're going to prepare ourselves for the second half, which is to head towards the lunar eclipse. So this esoteric shadow gift, the emotional opportunities, and this endurance to grow. So what are the other 2? Moon in Libra again, which is the 0 point of cardinal air, which is I relate to myself. I think it's interesting because I relate should be to others, and it might be they are saying it maybe I relate to the opportunity of that Saturn offers. And we're back again with this regular card. This is interesting because look, this is the Earth waiting for the lunar eclipse. This is the universal songlines, the grid anchor, the sacred earth walk. This is reminding you that by doing these things, you really are stepping on a 2-week sacred earth walk to change yourself into a nowness energy. Being in the energy of the now, not being in the past, not looking at shameful episodes, not feeling that you're a victim, but just standing in your new truth, your Ofalagu, your retuning that is coming. That's a beautiful message. All 6 of those, I love those. They're absolutely riddled with magic. Wow, look, 550500. It's a lot of energy sets and loads of zeros. This whole thing, I just want to remind you that throughout the whole of this eclipse tunnel, the vertex energy is on 0 degrees. It's on 0 degrees of Aries for the whole 2 weeks until the lunar eclipse, and then it goes to 0 degrees of Libra. It brings us back into the energy of relating to others. But first, we've got to learn to relate to ourselves. That's the gift in the middle. And then we'll do a message for meeting with Saturn in the 3 days, 7th, 8th, and 9th. And then we go to column 7 on the 10th, and we go right up to the lunar eclipse. So that's the plan, Stan. Getting weird light now because the sunlight's coming through. It's like there's a division at the midpoint of the column between the light and the shadow, the light and the shadow. So, beautiful people, how was that for all of you? Oh, cool, Diana. Yeah. What's going to happen with the rune cards is we're just working our way through all the artwork on the cards and setting them all up, and the poems are going on the back of each card, so that when you read the cards, you'll be able to hold the card forwards and the poem will be on the back if you're reading online, or you can turn it over. We kind of want to try and avoid creating an unnecessary book. So, Wassail Soul Secret Service News. So we're dealing in that, and then we're going to print them. Just a few. Wassail April York, aka really truly. And we're going to practice using them for a little bit just to see if they really work before we make them up and go, now they're ready. But what we're going to do is we're going to print extra ones, and Rob and Reem and myself will hopefully be able to work out how we kind of do some competitions so that you can maybe win a deck for now. Just so that some other people can have a go at playing with them and tell us what they feel about them and what might need changing. Because the whole point is we want them to be a perfectly usable deck. So additional information will become available on a website rather than printing lots of books and killing trees. Since the runes are about personal Yggdrasil trees, we want to avoid killing too many of them to make them. Thank you, Esther. Yeah, do you know what? That was a bit of a busy energy reading that. There was lots of magic, lots of really interesting ways in which to get ourselves through this frequency and find our new personal tune. Yeah, it's really interesting, Perry, because I think that we're really, with these nodes being in Taurus and Scorpio, there is a real frequency of food and problems with food and the cost of food and material possessions. And also there's an energy that's coming up when I think when we get to the Scorpio full moon, lunar eclipse, I think we're going to find an energy of monies that we feel we were entitled to that we never found. So it'll be interesting to see anyway. There's an awful lot going on. Oh, what do I think of the algo energy? Right, that's really, I'm glad you mentioned that because I've forgotten. I did mean to talk about it. Alcyon is the first fixed star past Algo. Algo is the demon star. It's the head of Medusa. And the lunar eclipse last year on the 19th of November was conjunct Algo. And I believe personally, because that one should have really been in Gemini, but it wasn't. It was an out of time, out of house eclipse that wasn't sticking to the nodal truth. And so I think the whole world from the 19th of November has been losing its mind, and people are in a really difficult place. But they're energies we have to go through. We have to fight the fact that we're being told to accept that things must become more expensive, that food is unaffordable, that they're creating situations where they're saying food can't grow. So therefore, all the food we do grow, we're going to have to charge you more for. There's the all, to me, nodal energies that have to play out. And it's down to us to decide how that works. Will we have a seer card in the deck? No, not exactly a seer card, but there's a seeress. And it was, the poem was in here. It's Wickercraft. It's card 65, and it's the female vulva energy. That's the seer card. Thank you. I am. It's good to be back. I really, with all the work that went on with my teeth and me rejecting all of the 6 metal pole screws that were put in my mouth into my bone, it was a difficult energy to face. But that's me at my own smoky mirror toilette doing my own Soul Ablutions. You want to see that one? I can put it on my iPad, but I'm not really sure you can see it, and it's a really lovely image. Let me see if I can find it and show you. It's just that sometimes when I hold my iPad up, it just doesn't show anything. So it's called Witchcraft, which is witchcraft. And it's also elderwood, and it's sorcery. See, I'm really not sure whether you'll see this. Have I got the brightness up as much? Oh, hang on. Yeah, right. The brightness is up as much as it can go. If you can see it. So you can see there's a kind of figure sitting with her elder staff, looking at the magic that she is materializing. So that's Witchcraft. Wassail Kathy. Are you live now? I am, but it's over. It's over between us, Kathy. Oh, how is the little one-eyed dog? I am. I'm reading what you're writing. Yeah, it's really interesting, Sacred Seer. The artwork, when it was sent by Aidan, who's done all the artwork, and his beautiful artwork, I could see the witch, but she didn't have her staff. And so the staff, I mean, she had the hand to hold the staff. And I just included the staff into the image. And it's such a beautiful card. It was just sitting there waiting to be Witchcraft. And I really love the poem. Oh, I'm glad he's doing all right, Kathy, the dog. He's little Odin. He's little Odin. You should start calling him Odin, because Odin had one eye. I don't know where I put it, but remember, Odin gave away his eye for wisdom and Mimir's brook to get all the language of the runes. And I always think he got impatient and got up too quick, and he didn't get all the runes, or he didn't get all the magic. Because Odin spent the rest of his life asking more magical women how to be more magical. And I think that's a really interesting frequency. There he is, old one eye. Yeah, little Odin. Yeah, I'll try and remember to put that one up, because I keep meaning to put it up, because actually Sheila, who comes on here, gave a wonderful reading that helped that card to form. And she did a reading the other day, and I posted the poem on her website because I wanted to share it with her, but I haven't shared the image. So I'll try and do that in the poem, and I'll let you know when I've done it. I mean, maybe I'll do that this afternoon, sit down and try and find 6 or something of the cards and poems that can go together. Yeah, community gardens are really important, that we don't do anymore. So, beautiful people, we've been on for 2 hours and 20 minutes. And I have to, do you know what I was going to say? And you have to be a little bit careful at the moment with YouTube, because if you do long videos, they take your number down. So the number of subscribers. So since I've come back, I was on 9,000.06. And every day that I've posted a new video, they've taken my numbers away because I'm doing long videos. If I do short videos, like TikTok pointless style, my numbers go up. So I don't really believe in the subscribers numbers. I don't follow them, but I don't really want them to take me back down. It took so long to get to 9,000. I don't really think that I have 9,000 people that are following me all the time. I'm just reading your comments again. Oh, and obviously, I need just remind all of you, I'm going to be doing some recipes as well, because I was visited by an echo, as I said the other day, of Toulouse-Lautrec, the artist, and it turns out that a friend of his built his cookery book from all the recipes that Toulouse-Lautrec had left, because he was a good cook. And when I bought the cookery book of Toulouse-Lautrec's recipes, it's of a different era. And so there's something that we can learn about how we feed ourselves, but also how we need to sort of think about the energy we put behind food, because we can't, many people can't afford, like in Britain, people at food banks won't take a potato because they can't afford the energy to cook a potato. So I've been out and I've bought a slow cooker, a crock pot, and they run on, you cook things for about 8 hours, but they're the same sort of energy, less energy than a light bulb. So I think it's about how we need to be more patient with our food, slower cooking, more creativity. And I learned that a year ago when I made the marmalade with my mum when she died. How important it is to set the correct intentions in the food we eat. So there will be some recipes. I just got to sort out the kitchen here so that we can see it and film it and do it. But we're going to begin with making a sourdough mother so that we can make lots of other foods. And I'm going to be focusing a lot to begin with on soft foods for people with sore mouths. Oh, you wrote one about Toulouse-Lautrec. He's a fabulous person. I absolutely adored having him around me for about a week. He was so, the energy was so lovely. I really kind of fell in love with him and understand a lot about him, but didn't understand until the recipe thing came why he was there. But now I do. Also, he would like people to know that he was just a little man. He wasn't, he was a great man. He was a great artist, but he wants us to, what I mean by that is he doesn't want you to remember him only as this little man that painted prostitutes. It's way more complicated and way more magnificent what he did. So, yeah, just if you want to go and look, he was the most amazing artist. He painted the most amazing things. And he knew from about the age of his early 20s that he was going to die of syphilis or alcoholism. And so he thought he probably had 10 years left, and he more or less did. He died at 36, but he was prolific. So I'm just going to, I just feel like I need to just throw one more card at the end. Yeah, it's funny because I thought about you, Michael, with Van Gogh, because obviously they knew each other. Look, so it's time to scythe ourselves, change everything about ourselves. This is the energy of Chiron. This is the energy of transforming our wounds. And that's what this has given us. Yes, he did. It was, Toulouse-Lautrec was a game changer. He did turn advertising into art. He did some amazing concepts. He's part of the fin de siècle, the last 10 years of the Paris art scene. He was, yeah, in the Belle Epoque. He was an amazing man. I didn't know how much, but honestly, I absolutely fell in love with him. Anyway, let's these will bring us. I've kind of been trying to invent soups and things in his honor, but I'm actually going to try and adapt his recipes to a slow cooker, because most of his recipes ask you to put things in a pot after you've set them all off and fried or whatever you need to do, and then you leave it on your range for about 3 hours. It was about things cooking slowly on a range. You can't do that on modern gas or electricity. It's too hot, it burns. So by getting this crock pot, this slow cooker, I can start to do slower, patient meals. I also want to see if I can create something that can cook overnight as breakfast. So there's lots. Yeah, I tell Michael, I love his work, not just his posters, but his actual artworks. They're the most beautiful colors, honestly. So gorgeous. He also was a very crazy man. He invented cocktails because he loved a bit of alcohol, but also him and his friends did some very fun things that are a bit naughty. I did say in the other reading, you need to kind of look up Toulouse-Lautrec defecating. It's, I'm just going to leave it there if you decide to go and look at it. But you have to bear in mind that photography was really a studio-based thing. And although most photographs of him are in studios, his friend was a photographer, and he would take his camera out into the real world. And they wanted to do things that were ballsy, that were pushing the boundaries, as all true artists should do. And so there is, if you look that up, there's a very interesting 4 photographs on a beach. Anyway, it was beautiful being here with you. We're now at 2.5 hours, so that'll be me down to 8,000 subscribers, because YouTube just doesn't want to store the long videos. So wassail, everybody. Yes, slow foods are much better for us, definitely, Parry. So I look forward to doing some recipes, but for now, we'll still carry on going through this. There's 2 more parts to this. This is just part 1. So thank you all very much. If you do have a chance to donate to me, I'm very grateful to you. If you don't worry about it. Other people are, and I can afford to buy food. Wassail beautiful people, I love you all.